So it's been a little bit of a while since we last saw you. How's things been going? How's the preparation for the next fight going on? And give us an update on what's going on with you.
It's been a year pretty much since my last competition. Last fight didn't go my way. A lot of reasons, of course. Broke my orbital like the first round, I think. Like right eye was completely gone. I remember squinting, couldn't see, and for 25 minutes, I just didn't decide to give up. Went back to the drawing boards. Of course, first couple months was a little hard. I think I fell into like a little deep depression, and a lot of athletes can relate to it. And having the right support group system, the right people around me, helped me get out of that, and went back on track and got the motor started again a little slowly. And I feel really good. I have a solid team. Jim's doing great, and it's just time for us to kick some ass. That's it.
I always feel like that's one of the most underrated things in MMA, right? If you are a soccer player and you lose a game, next week you get to go again and try and turn that round, right? If you're a fighter, and particularly if you suffer an injury, it can be a year before you get a chance to prove to yourself that, like, okay, I can still do this. So I think there probably is a moment after every fight where, like you say, it's probably a real serious depression. Is that something that you think, obviously, fans can't necessarily relate to everything, but that's one area in particular that they really underestimate? It's like the mental, like, fuck, I just lost. And, is that something you think they underestimate?
Absolutely. I think if the fans could really see what a lot of the athletes go through, I think it will humanize the sport a little bit. They only see the punching and the kicking and the winning, but no one sees what happens to the loser. It's just a funner dynamic for them to just cheer and yeah and all that, but behind the scenes, we get to see some adversities, and one of the adversities that we don't see is sometimes a fighter fall into that, and we've seen it where fighters either fall into that deep hole and they can't come out of it, and they have X amount of losses, and it just makes them feel unworthy anymore, and you lose that warrior mentality. So I felt like I was kind of heading there because it sucks. You prepare so long, 3 months of preparation, and then for it to be taken away like that, and then you have all the negative affirmation, and the people just kind of tell you you're not worthy. You question yourself. You're like, wait a minute, I was bred for this, and you start to let that in. But again, it goes back to that right support system, having the people to remind you, hey, yeah, forget all of that, and then to help you build you back up. But it's like having your blinders on, man, because if you don't have your blinders on, you're going to get distracted, even something as depression.
What's the process like? Is it literally just a simple case of like, I got to go to the gym today and I got to start working out, and then eventually the confidence comes back and the hunger comes back? Or is it something else? Is it something that you have to have like a real serious conversation, like, do I want to do this? Yes. Like, what's the process of getting back to that confident mindset?
I think your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. It's kind of like doing something that agitates you and you don't want to do it, and you're supposed to do it. If I'm supposed to wake up at 6 to go to class, then I got to get up at 6. I don't feel like it. Let me take a day off. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. And even Kobe said it best. He's like, there's no negotiating with myself. I already made a commitment, a decision. Why am I negotiating with myself to talk myself out of it? And it's just like a muscle. You got to practice it and you got to train it. And when you train it, it becomes a second nature over time. But to be acknowledged about it is to step into it. It's going to happen. Life is happening. And you either happen with it or happen without. And unfortunately, it's a brutal sport. It's a singular sport. And you win, you're on top, they love you, you lose, it sucks. It's like, wait a minute, what happened to those 4 fights that I won? That don't mean anything, but you can't let those negative affirmation come in. It's all about staying positive.
So is it like a bit, not to simplify, but discipline versus motivation, right? I can't always be motivated, but I can be disciplined.
Absolutely, it's all about discipline and just creating that second nature, remembering your why, basically. Yeah, I started this for this reason. Yeah, I'm going to have humps, but I got to get up.
Now, I thought for a while, all the cards seem to be heading towards you versus Darren Till in London, and that's not happening. Did they ever approach you about that fight, and was that ever on the table?
I heard he was hurt, but I do know we reached out a lot of times, and it was more of like, we'll get back to you. So I'm like, what does that mean? And he has the crowd full. Everyone believes him. It's a stupid... That's why I want to fight him, because I'm going to expose him. He's trash. He talks a lot of shit, and everyone believes him, but they don't know. I see straight through him. We reached out so many times. We're like, yo, what's up? I'll come to your country, blah, 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 blah. And his crew was like, yeah, we'll get back to you. But he was hurt. Whatever. So I'm ready to fight him.
That's almost uncharacteristic of you. I've never really heard you go after someone being like, no, dude, I see through you and stuff. What is it about him in particular that seems to have, I don't want to say pissed you off?
I don't like fake people, man. I'm real. I'm as real as it gets. And New York City, credit to that. It taught me to be real. Unfortunately, there's a shitload of fake people. And sometimes, guess what? You got to say some shit to get some publicity. Because let's face it, that's what MMA is these days. Let's talk some shit and we'll gravitate towards you. If I start talking about birds and bees, nobody fucking gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You just got to go with the flow and still be you.
How do you see him doing against Jack Hermansson?
I mean, what is Darren good at?
Some people would say striking.
Maybe. I think he has 2 punches. That's it. He knows how to keep his chin up. That's why he got knocked out a couple times. I see straight through him, man. I hope Jack kicks his ass.
I don't think I've ever seen you like this about a particular guy. I don't think I've ever seen you be like, no, dude, like, fuck this.
I mean, listen, hate is a powerful word. I don't hate him. I just want to kick his ass. But politics is, disguising itself these days.
What do you make of him, like, when he replies saying, like, oh, yeah, I'm so scared of you, and, like, sort of acting like you're being ridiculous and saying what you're saying?
I say nothing. I mean, I just want him to say my name. I mean, he's going to... Everything that comes out of his mouth is just shit. Like, think about it. Everything that comes out of his fucking mouth is shit. Like, I'm gonna sit there and listen to you, bro. Like, you're gonna have your whole crowd say, fuck Uriah. Like, you think that hurts me? Dude, I've been through some shit before. I've been homeless, bro. I ate out of trash. Like, you really think that's gonna hurt me? Get the fuck out of here.
I feel like you mentioned, like, oh, the fans, like, that's not going to hurt me. I feel like you've had a unique journey through the UFC, like, coming off a tough with the reputation that you already had, and then you've had some highs, you've had some lows and stuff. I feel like your relationship with the fans is almost, I can't think of anyone else with it. It seems like more up and down. Every fighter has an up and down relationship with them, but it feels like yours is more up and down than anyone else.
Yeah, because I think some people maybe see themselves through me, whether the success part or the failure part or the real part. I'm the type of person that's not afraid to be real. I'm not afraid to cry. I'm not afraid to express myself. That's what it is to be a human being. What the fuck am I hiding for? I don't know how to be fake, and I don't want to be fake. I'm real, and that scares a lot of people. My energy is not for a lot of people. I walk into a room, I either own it or I'm not. And sometimes my energy will scare people. But for the one that's scared, they know. They see that I'm a fucking badass, whether it's emotionally or spiritually. So yeah, get the fuck away from me. I don't need you. I'm good.
And on that note, I'll let you go train with some children, but maybe drop the cussing after the
some kids now. Let's go, you little bastards.